What's going on, everybody? It's been a few weeks since we've posted because we've had a few weeks off. It's just been taking our time getting the car ready for our next race, which will be on May 11th at Berlin. And just been working on cleaning stuff up. After 75 laps, a lot of rubber gets thrown around and there's a lot of cleaning to do. So as of right now, got the car in the shop. Spent earlier today, as you can see by the marks on the floor, water marks, cleaning up the nose, getting all the rubber off of it. Last weekend I had taken the car outside, used the air hose, got all the rubber out of it by blowing everything off. Today just gonna wipe everything down a little bit more, get it right to our specifications of clean, because it's still a little dusty, some other little rubber specks up on the body panels on the inside, so I need to go wipe all that stuff down. Other than that though, just looking for me personally, I'm just ready to get through the end of the school year. Just a lot of stuff going on. Once I'm done with that, I can really focus on the summer stretch here of, getting the, everything racing wise going, continuing to try and do more content for the YouTube channel. So otherwise, last night, Friday night, went to the Kalamazoo Speedway where, as you can see, Sexton Motorsport shirt, Alex Sexton picked up his first win in the street stock class. It's been a long time coming. It was good to see him finally get it done after going quick time and then driving through the 9-car invert to absolutely wax their asses. It was awesome. See that finally happen and to do it in that fashion was cool. Otherwise, I'm looking to do the same thing at Berlin sometime soon, hopefully as well. I know we got a lot of work to do, certainly, but definitely congratulations to him, and hopefully I can, like I just said, replicate that sometime soon. Otherwise, I think we got most everything clean. I got all the wheels sitting here, which I believe I've cleaned. They look clean and shiny. Maybe a little dusty. Let's look at the race ones. That looks clean to me, and that's the right front. So I must have cleaned them, but anyway, something that when it comes to what we're going to be adjusting on the car does pertain to what we just looked at there, the wheels. Not necessarily the wheels, but the tires. I got in here something I've been doing a little bit differently. Sure, not differently, just something new that I've started doing is trying to get more tire data and information. So a lot of the common things that you see is air pressure and stagger. Stagger, obviously the solo cup or cup method of one end's bigger than the other and it goes around in a circle. Well, just like on a circle track, well, we want to create that cup, and so we do that in tires. So the right sides are bigger than the left, kind of helps the car turn. So that's that's a very simple way to go about stagger. But then you have air pressure, which helps you get your stagger that you want and helps affect the ride height of the car. So that's why I see a lot of times at the beginning of races, a lot of the cars spark because they're hitting the ground because they don't have enough air pressure. So those are things that you see. Now, that's the most common thing those are things that you definitely have to do. Now, I would say there's two other things that, one we've done, and that's tire temperature. And then the other one that I'm starting to do is tire depth or tread depth measurements, which I would consider those two kind of auxiliary kind of measurements that you don't have to do, but I think give you more information. So the reason why I'm doing those is because those are information that iRacing also provides you. And obviously iRacing, it's a simulator, it's not real, but it's information that I'm used to taking in to understand what I can do better as a driver in a lot of the fixed setup racing, which means everyone's on the same setup in iRacing. In fixed setup racing, a lot of times it comes down to the driver because there is no difference in setup. So you have to be able to save your tires and do the best thing you can for them throughout a race to be there at the end and to be competitive. So what I've learned to do is you got to study that data. You got to understand, what can I do better the next race if I didn't do well this one. So the biggest thing is iRacing provides you a percentage of how much tire you had left. And you want to have the highest number because that means, well, your tire's going to have more grip. You still have more left there to work with. So whoever has in iRacing the most percentage left in a race, more than likely is going to be the fastest. So what I'm trying to replicate and do now is get that information for myself for my real racing. So what I got here is a chart. So it ended up being tire 12 is how we have them marked, was the right front for our first race at the icebreaker. Now, I have initial tread depths. I doubt the GoPro's gonna focus great here. For 3 points on the tire, and then I have them marked as outside, middle, inside. Now, the wear percentage, normally the final wear measurement should be less than the initial. For whatever reason, I've done a lot of tires so far, ones that we've ran in the past, our practice tires this year, and I've never had one gain. If I run back out here really quickly, we torched these off, so as you can like see on this one, it's clean. There's none of this boogers or anything like that on the tire. So I don't know what happened here, but the middle measurement on our right front actually gained for whatever reason. I'm assuming that's a fluke. I don't really care about that one though. What I care about is looking at this outside measurement being at 93% and the inside measurement being 76%. And that's how much of the tires left. So what that means is we use 25% of the right front on the inside of the tire and a mere, 7% on the outside. Where we get that from is the camber that we run in these cars. With our racetracks being banked, you want to run camber that will help the car turn, and when you load up the suspension in those banks, it will keep the tire, basically the tread of the tire, parallel with the racetrack, which will then give you the most contact patch and the most grip. So basically we're talking about the angle of the spindle and therefore the tire in relation. So that's how we get our camber in our right front suspension on this car, and therefore that's kind of what produces the outcome of the tire wear, and then therefore temperature. We saw the same thing in our tire temps. The inside of the tire was way hotter than the outside. So basically what we need to do is lay that back. We actually already have laid that back to try and give us more contact patch and hopefully more grip, because we just were a little snug in the center of the corner, and that's where I'm really happy with where we're at. We've never really been as tight as we were this past race at the icebreaker. So to be able to actually make an adjustment to try and get back to where we want to be in terms of being able to turn the corner, because I had great drive off. I was able to pull down the straightaway, but I was not able to drive in as deep as other guys, simply I feel like due to the fact that the car was just a little tight in the center. I had to lift early to get slowed down there to then be able to get up and off. So that's something, an adjustment we made. We made a small one to the left front as well, and where that stems from is just the fact that we're on a new tire this year. We're on the McCreary tires, which to me, I'm not sure about the actual tread itself. I think it's maybe a little harder, but I feel like most of it's in the sidewall. And what that's not allowing for is the tire to squish. You know, it's kind of a term we use, is tire squish, how much the tire will, squish under load. And with that, the difference, the Hoosier tires were softer in the sidewall. They would, they were more like a deflated basketball, I guess you could say. And they would kind of absorb, the bumps in the track, and they would absorb the load that the car put on them. These aren't doing that, so I think that's where the tire isn't rolling and allowing that contact patch to be completely fulfilled, to get all 10 inches of these tires down on the ground. So that's something, just adjustment that we hadn't played with. We were seeing the trend in practice. We just wanted to put a race underneath our belt to kind of really confirm that. And with all the data we've gotten, we were able to. So that's an adjustment we're making going into the future. So certainly looking forward to that, is we've got data to back up this idea of this is what we should do. So to be able to make this adjustment, I'm excited to see what it will do for us. And other than that, I'm just gonna get to work on, keep cleaning, and like I showed a few weeks ago, got our checklist. So we'll have to nut and bolt. Cleaning is, of course, something I'm working on right now. Check oil and fluids, so we're gonna go over that after the practice and all that we've done, especially after we just got the motor back after some off-season maintenance from C-Tech. Just want to change the oil, make sure everything looks good in there. Check timing, of course, just I want to make sure that gets loosened up. We got to go run and get some fuel because it took everything that we had. We got the battery charger on it currently. My dad's already gone through tow, so I can check that off. We need to drop the sticks, and yeah, everything's down there is pretty much good. So just some minor things we got to go through. Something that we're able to do now that we don't have on there, I guess, is scale the car. We're going to scale the car now that we have scales as well. So just with those changes, we just want to make sure everything comes back out to where we expect it to be. Other than that, I'm going to get to work here, have a fun time getting this car all cleaned up and ready to go here and go have more fun out at the racetrack.